Engineers are testing cutting-edge robotic arms capable of autonomous object sorting and two-wheeled robots navigating stairs with remarkable precision. The spectrum of AI applications is broadening, from remotely controlled dexterous robotic hands to AI-driven agricultural machinery capable of precision weeding. Chen Yang, Vice General Manager of the Chengdu Humanoid Robot Innovation Center, revealed exciting plans for the coming months. According to him, the center will launch AI-powered tourism robots in April, and in May, agricultural robots, and in June, the latest version of the Ganga No. 1 decisions. The impact of AI extends far beyond robotics, permeating various sectors with notable advancements. DeepSeek AI model experience and search functionalities. Moreover, in East China's Ningbo City, a car company is integrating DeepSeek with its proprietary AI to develop more advanced in-vehicle systems. For example, the AI can respond to a tired driver by closing the windows, reclining the seat, and adjusting the air conditioning for optimal comfort. In Yiwu, the world's largest wholesale market for small commodities, located in East China's Zhejiang province, AI is playing a strategic role. One packaging company relies on AI for orders, logistics, finances, and even employee training. Government services are also getting an AI upgrade. Shenzhen, a vibrant sci-tech and advanced manufacturing hub in South China's Guangdong province, has deployed 70 AI-powered digital assistants, dramatically streamlining administrative processes. These assistants have reduced document processing times from days to mere minutes, achieving over 95% accuracy in document corrections and significantly boosting public service efficiency. China's AI boom is not just a technological advancement, it's a societal transformation, reshaping how businesses operate and how citizens interact with the government.
As the housing crisis worsens in Australia, more and more developments are being given the green light in areas notorious for flooding. Some are 50-story skyscrapers with flood alarms, flood apps, flood barriers and evacuation drills, part of the new norm. It's a nationwide problem with prime real estate too valuable not to build on.
Mark Stockwell is one of the few developers willing to mention the F word in public.
We've got to, in Brisbane, realise that flood is part of our way of life, but we've got to be prepared for it.
This was ground zero in 2022 near one of his West End unit blocks.
And it went to about 6.8 metres, which means it's another 1.8 metres above my head.
Building above ground car parks, moving utilities to rooftops and flood barriers like this all help.
Alarms, gates, bunds, in some situations maybe pumps.
With a national housing crisis, governments are using any land they can.
But that might mean those occupants have to shelter in place in times of a flood.
That's certainly the case in Sydney's West, where this 34-storey build-to-rent block is going up in Parramatta.
There was a comment that the design allowed for a tolerable risk to life.
Damned by the council and the SES, it was called in by the New South Wales government.
Obviously, the family of someone that died in floodwaters would not accept that as a tolerable risk.
On Queensland's Gold Coast, this low-lying land is to become Lakesview, with 2,700 homes to be built up on pads. It too was given the green light by a state government, despite council and insurer concerns.
The Insurance Council has long advocated for governments at all levels to stop development on floodplains. We put communities and businesses at risk when we build the wrong things in the wrong places.
And back in Brisbane, 3 skyscrapers are proposed for this old factory site just a kilometre from the CBD. Developers arguing habitable areas are above climate change predictions for floods even 75 years from now. Sometimes common sense prevails. This old cow site on the Glitter Strip, once approved for 1,500 homes, was left idle after developers were told they'd have to have canned food and life rafts on site for when it went under, which was often.
There's no easy answer to this. We need houses, but we also want to keep people safe.
Lexi Hamilton-Smith, ABC News.
China's Unitree Robotics has been turning heads with its advanced humanoid robots, whose impressive speed, balance and agility have captured a lot of attention in real life and online.
Founded in 2016 by CEO Wang Jingjing, who was only 26 years old at the time, Unitree Robotics started with a small team and big dreams. Today, the company has around 500 employees specializing in the development and production of dog-like quadruped robots and bipedal humanoid robots. The company gained widespread attention with its creations, including its dancing robots, during the 2025 Spring Festival Gala broadcast produced by China Media Group, one of the world's most watched TV programs. The latest data from Gaogong Robotics Industry Research Institute shows that Unitree's dog-like quadruped robots account for nearly 70% of the global market share. However, the company's real breakthrough came with its rapid progress in bipedal human-sized robots, a market they entered just 1.5 years ago. According to Shen Jian, marketing manager of Unitree Robotics, the company had probably just a dozen people in the early days. He said the number of people increased only after the participation of the 2021 Spring Festival Gala for the Year of the Ox. Chen said that the quadruped robots can serve different purposes such as safety inspections and can also be great companions or performers. Unitree's humanoid robots can mimic human movement with remarkable balance and precision. With cutting-edge technology, they have set new standards in the industry and have paved the way for future advancements in robotics. Despite their advancements, Chen emphasized that humanity has not yet fully realized the potential of humanoid robots. He said that the future will present numerous challenges, such as how they perceive the world like humans and how they can interact with human beings with emotions. While the idea of a robot that can cook and clean at home is enticing, Chen says humanity has not reached that point just yet.
Years after a group of New South Wales farmers won the so-called Battle of Bylong in the courts, residents say the town's future is still in doubt. A South Korean energy company is trying to renew its mining exploration license, and locals say they are being kept in the dark. ABC Newcastle's Bridget Murphy travelled there for this State Line report.
Welcome to the Bylong Valley, home to some of New South Wales' most fertile land and a most frustrating land dispute.
Half of the valley is owned by something that's owned by the Korean government.
That something is energy giant KEPCO, which spent $700 million acquiring 13,000 hectares of land here.
This is Bylong's local general store. It's one of KEPCO bought when it wanted to open the coal mine. Closed since 2021, and there's no signs of it reopening soon.
This church, sold to KEPCO, is slowly crumbling. And the mouse races that once drew in tourists no longer run.
It's hard to plan for the future of your community if literally the biggest landowner in your valley refuses to talk to the community.
KEPCO's land is currently leased to a grazing company. Its plans for a coal mine were officially rejected years ago, but the company recently applied to renew its 2 coal-specific mining exploration licences, a request that's currently being assessed by the New South Wales government. It says the environment, landholder rights and community consultation will all be taken into account. But the 4 relevant ministers we contacted declined to elaborate further. Activists are calling on the government to overhaul planning rules, arguing they favour mining companies over landholders. Korean media reports suggest another possibility, a solar power plant.
There's very limited space here for solar because it's quite undulating. You need a lot of vast areas of level ground and connected to the big grid.
KEPCO has refused to provide any information about its plans for the Bylong Valley. The ABC contacted its Sydney office multiple times, as well as its head office in South Korea. The company refused an interview and did not answer any of our detailed questions.
They haven't been there, us, and they wouldn't tell you anyway, they tell you nothing.
Landholders still believe Bylong could be rejuvenated if KEPCO is willing to sell or work with other investors.
They've got a great opportunity to turn it into something fabulous.
A decision on the lease renewal is expected shortly. Bridget Murphy, ABC News, Bylong.
The West Australian Wildlife Hospital says it's at risk of closing its doors to new patients as it struggles to cope with the increase in numbers of animals needing help. It's believed urban sprawl, emerging diseases and natural disasters are causing the rise in injuries.
Good boy. Karen Clarkson has been working at the WA Wildlife Hospital for the past 7 years, caring for all creatures great.
That's better. Be nice.
And small.
We try and release them as soon as we can. As soon as they're well enough, they can fly, they can eat on their own, they're putting on weight, we'll release them back out into the wild.
But there's one key problem facing the centre.
So it's huge increase in the numbers and the diversity of the animals coming in as well.
There's been an average 17% year-on-year increase in wildlife patients over the past 15 years.
We're starting to really figure out, well, what is our capacity? At what point do we have to close our doors and go, we just cannot handle any more animals coming through this hospital?
Despite record demand, opening hours have been reduced by 90 minutes a day.
We can't keep burning out the same dedicated people who are looking after these animals. So that's why, government support, community awareness, education is so important.
More research is required to determine exactly why admissions are increasing, but some common presentations include diseases, fishing entanglements, introduced predator attacks and injuries as a result of urban sprawl. The centre hopes animals like Rafi, the red-tailed black cockatoo, will draw in tourists. Through educational tours, they want to raise awareness about the increased risk to WA's wildlife. But the responsibility doesn't just lie with members of the public.
It's one thing to ask people to drive more carefully and look on the roads. It's another thing to say, well, you have to do something about climate change, and that has to come from the top down rather from the bottom up.
We're looking to see how we can broaden the scope of this organisation to help finance it and to increase its relevance and to increase its reach to the community.
The Department of Biodiversity Conservation and Attraction says while it appreciates the efforts of wildlife rescue organisations, they would not respond to the ABC's questions regarding additional funding. Ruby Littler, ABC News.
You might not think mice would have trouble breeding, but populations of the critically endangered smoky mouse are so low they struggle to find a mate who's not genetically related. And groundbreaking new research has shown they are not the only species in trouble.
In a tiny climate-controlled shipping container in Canberra, researchers are trying to get critically endangered native mice to mate.
We slowly introduce the male and the female together over a period of days, about a week. We have a setup that allows them to sort of smell each other and start communicating in ways before they're physically introduced and able to actually interact. This just helps them feel more secure with each other to start to bond before we give them access to each other, and then most of the time it goes really well.
Unlike the common mouse, smoky mice do not breed in plague proportions. With up to 8 offspring a year, they struggle to survive in the wild with feral cats, habitat loss and limited prospects on the mating scene.
Essentially your options for a mate are quite limited and the risk of breeding with related animals increases. And we call that inbreeding. So as inbreeding increases, we lose genetic diversity.
A groundbreaking global study has revealed an alarming decline in genetic diversity across species worldwide. Published in the scientific journal Nature, it was an extraordinary international effort. 57 scientists from 20 countries trawling through over 80,000 scientific articles published across 30 years.
What we found was genetic diversity is declining globally. So there was an overall loss of genetic diversity across the tree of life. This was particularly bad for mammals and birds.
That's largely being driven by land use changes, feral animals, disease, climate change and human activities like hunting and logging. But they also found positive news.
The conservation actions we found were associated with an increase in genetic diversity or a maintenance of genetic diversity, so no loss, were supplementation, so adding new individuals to a population. What I want people to take away from this is that if we invest in these things, we can make a change.
For the smoky mouse, that process starts with release into a predator-free enclosure with food, water and a pre-dug burrow.
It's basically a bucket in the ground with a pipe coming out of it that I've buried for them.
Protecting the resilience of species, great and small. Lish Fayer, ABC News, Canberra.
China launches the world's largest power methanol dual fuel engine in Shanghai.
Produced by China State Shipbuilding Corporation, the fully Chinese-made and developed methanol engine weighs nearly 1,953 tons, with a maximum design power of 64,500 kilowatts, making it a giant heart of vessels. With its advanced digitalized smart control system, the mega engine generates 95% of its power with methanol fuel, reducing carbon dioxide emission by over 7.5%. Project manager of the methanol engine project of the China State Shipbuilding Corporation, Dong Jinjin, said if the engine runs 300 days every year, the carbon emission reduced is equal to the total emissions of 72,000 gasoline passenger cars in a year. Amid the ongoing green transformation of the water transport industry, the engine is expected to meet the huge market demand. And for its debut, the engine will be installed on a 16,000 TEU container ship soon. According to Jinjin, engines of this type have been successfully installed on container ships and bulk carriers. He said the following market demand for methanol engines is quite considerable.
More than a decade of unremitting ecological restoration efforts have transformed Changting County, a once barren and desolate region in East China's Fujian province, into a vibrant place with fruit-laden trees, free-ranging chickens and a booming ecological economy.
Changting was once one of the counties with the most serious soil erosion in the red soil region in southeastern China. Data have shown that since 2012, Changting County has taken comprehensive measures to control the soil erosion of a total area of over 97,800 hectares. And the area of soil erosion has dropped from 31,793 hectares at the end of 2011 to 21,013 hectares at the end of 2020, with the soil erosion rate dropping to 6.78%, which is lower than the provincial average. According to Yu Hui, director of Changting County Soil and Water Conservation Center, the region's tough situation resulted from waves of migration generations ago, depleting forest resources due to the rapacious need for timber, fuel, and farming. According to Yu, reforested hills emerged one after another after 12 years of hard work. He said that the entire tree species structure has changed after restoration. In December 2023, China's first carbon sink trade agreement for soil and water conservation projects was signed in Fujian province. According to China's Ministry of Water Resources, valued at 1.8 million yuan, about $248,000, the trade involved a total of 100,000 tons of carbon sink for comprehensive management of soil and water conservation in the Luodi River watershed. Soil and water conservation carbon sink refers to the process or ability of generating carbon sink following the adoption of measures to prevent and control soil erosion caused by natural factors and human activities. Apart from the successful reforestation, farms are also thriving in the county, such as the Fengying Eco Farm in the region's Sanzhou village, where planting and poultry industries have flourished in recent years. According to Shen Shuchao, the farm's operator, the ecological restoration progress has effectively boosted local employment. Remarkable efforts have also increased income for local residents. In the 1980s, people struggled to have enough food, and by the 2000s, the economy saw significant growth, according to villager Li Jian. By the end of 2023, the annual per capita disposable income of urban and rural residents in Changting had increased to 34,996 yuan and 33,852 yuan, respectively, according to the county government. Recommended by the Ministry of Water Resources, Changting's transformation in comprehensive control of soil and water loss was selected as a typical case of ecological restoration at the Phase 1 meeting of the 15th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, which was held in Kunming of southwest China's Yunnan province in 2021.
Wild horses descend from highlands to villages in search of food as temperatures plummet to -10 degrees in central Turkey.
Wild horses, known locally as Yilki horses, have been forced to descend from their natural habitat in the Yelibil highlands to nearby villages in Bolvedin and Emirdağ districts of Afyonkarahisar as temperatures drop to -10 degrees Celsius. These free-roaming horses, known for both their beauty and timidity, were captured on drone footage while searching for food near residential areas. The footage shows the herd moving together, creating striking scenes as they flee upon noticing the drone above them. The harsh winter conditions have pushed these usually distant animals closer to human settlements in their search for sustenance.
A new farmer leads his team to set up a smart plant factory in Zunyi city of southwest China's Guizhou province, introducing technological innovation into traditional agriculture.
Overcoming various challenges over the past 5 years, new farmer Zhu Wei, head of Guizhou Yushu Agricultural Development Co. Limited, has transformed strawberry, a seasonal fruit, into a product that can be produced and harvested at any time throughout the year. In Sidu Town, Zhu's smart plant factory feels like a cozy garden house. Currently, it is the peak strawberry season in the market, but the plant factory has few berries ready for picking. Born in 1981 in Wenzhou city of East China's Zhejiang province, Zhu graduated with a master's degree from Zhejiang University and had been working in the IT industry in Hangzhou city. In 2017, he was introduced to Zunyi as a high-level talent and decided to settle down in the western region. In December 2019, Zhu responded to the call for professional talents in Zunyi to lead the establishment of a rural revitalization demonstration base. He leased a piece of land in Sidu Town, built greenhouses, and started cultivating strawberries, officially embarking on his entrepreneurial journey. In the early days, Zhu and his team tried to develop a big data system for managing strawberry cultivation. According to Zhu, strawberries need 5 key factors to thrive: temperature, moisture, light, nutrients, and air. He said one must test these factors based on permutation and combination theory. For instance, if the air quality is perfect, improper lighting can still hinder growth. After more than 1,800 days and nights of experimentation, spanning thousands of trials, his team successfully developed models for strawberry growth. They also selected one suitable for indoor cultivation from over 70 varieties. In January 2024, Zhu invested 16 million yuan, about $2.21 million US, to build a plant factory spanning 2.6 mu or 0.17 hectares. The strawberries, originally grown in greenhouses, were relocated to a 7-story building, enabling year-round production. Looking to the future, Zhu and his team are planning to replicate the smart plant factory in the country's coastal cities, allowing more people to enjoy fresh agricultural products. He said he thinks that the team are participating in the transformation of modern agriculture in China, which facilitates more new farmers to engage in agriculture.
And that's all we have for you right now. Thank you all for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant day.
Creating a news agenda that reflects an unbiased view of Asian current affairs without relying on external news sources. Asia Vision. Asian news through Asian eyes.
روداكي كوباكن إجين بجه شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان رودا بحكمتك إنسانا روحاني بار وذكرون أي المرء بدار واقتبا جسماني بار بالكشي وجيا روحاني بار كذا فدوان
ರಂಬಾಮೋಗೆ ರೋದಯ ಅಳುಕಮಗೆ ಕಂಕಮ ಗುಳೆಗತುಂ ರೈಸ್ ಅಲುಸ್ತಾಸ್ ಮಾಮೂನ್ ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ಕಯ್ಯೂಮ್ ದೆವ್ವ ದೀನಿ ನಸೆಹೆ ರೋದಯಗೆ ಹಿಯದುಗ ರಂಬಾಮೋಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ದುವಹಕು PSM ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್
ಅಳುಗೊಂಡ ನಮಕಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಅಳುಗೊಂಡಕಿ ಕುರಿಗ ಬಾಸ್ಕೆಟ್ಬಾಲ್ ಕುಳುಂತೆದೆ ಮಿಹಾರ ಕೋಚ್ ಬೆಸ್ನೆ ದೆನ್ ಬಾಸ್ಕೆಟ್ ಕುಳುಂಗೆರುಗೆ ಅಬದುಸ್ වර මුහිම්මකම දැන් සිහත් රංගල මේන්ටේන් කුරුමා ඒගොතුන් අනේ දුම්පතුගේ ඉස්තිමාල් කුරුමා සිහත නොරකාවා කන්තතක වර බොඩ දුරුගෝලෙනි එමෙ ප්‍රොෆෙෂනල් කෝ එමිහෙගේ කැරියා කුලිවරුගේ බිනා කුරුම් බෙන්මියා විහස් බොඩක දුම්පතුගේ ඉස්තිමාල් කුරුමා ආශිකණ්ඩ නොරකාවා කන්තතක වෙජේ කුරිහා කුදිම දුරුහෙලිව
පුට්ටා දැෆි
सुहेलम वाल देश अन्नीरमाम करी गफलतावकी कोल्ल देश अन्नीरमाम करी अक्कमा कुल्लू नाई हम कम गेलो वेती हियलुगा अक्कमा